I am incredibly excited to share with you guys the Thorpy Effects Lazy J, The J, a collaboration between two massive contributors to our industry, Thorpy Effects and of course Jesse from Lazy J. Lazy J, if you don't know already, are known for making kind of the ultimate Tweed, modded Tweed amplifier. Kind of, I guess most famously, the Lazy J J20. And the J aims to capture that sound in a pedal. I can't think of a better person to do this than Thorpy Effects, and it's great that they've got kind of Jesse on board with this to help refine the pedal along the way. I've known about this pedal for a couple of years, if I'm honest, and it's been a long time coming. I'm going to share with you a few behind the scenes secrets in a sec, but first of all, a quick peek behind the curtain. I wasn't going to make a video on this pedal. I am not being commissioned to make a video on this pedal. I know that there's going to be plenty of other demos out there from the Maz distro guys, so that's fine. Go watch those. They'll probably be a bit more polished than this video is. I wasn't going to make a video, but I've ended up making one because I really like this pedal, and more specifically, I wasn't going to make a song for this video, you know, the little demo tracks that I do. But when I just started playing this pedal, I just started writing. It's so inspiring. So I ended up writing a little song that is probably one of my favorites that I've made in a long time, and it's all because of the sounds I was getting from the J. A little bit behind the scenes about this pedal that I think I can probably share with you guys. You guys probably know I've been working with Thorpy for 2 years now. It literally is 2 years this November. On his content creation side of things, it's been a real honour to get to work with Thorpy, and with that, I get to see a little bit of a peek behind the curtain of what's down the line with Thorpy Effects. And I believe the very first time I went down to Thorpy Effects HQ, and where they build all the pedals, an early version of the J was on the shelf. Now, it didn't have artwork. It might have even been in a more rudimentary enclosure. It was a really early prototype, maybe version 1. It wasn't even called the J back then. And every time I've been to Thorpy Effects since then, I've seen a slightly more updated version of the J. Never actually playing it until the final version, but it's been really exciting to see this coming. And it's been 2 years that I've seen this pedal in the works, but I think it's been in the works for quite a bit longer than that. If you guys want to know more about how this pedal came to be, I was really fortunate enough to interview both Thorpy Effects, Adrian, and Jesse from Lazy J together for a video that I think should be going out on the Thorpy Effects YouTube channel. So it's a J20 in a box without the reverb and tremolo. It's just the 2 channels of Tweed goodness. We have some really great controls here that I think set this pedal apart from other Tweed pedals out there. We have master volume output, we have a master tone control, and we have a response, which is like a presence mid-range. We have a supply, which is aiming to emulate the variable attenuation that you can get on some J20s. So all the way up, I believe, is kind of normal. As you back it down, it sort of starts to starve the sound a little bit. You get a little bit more like a crapped out Tweed sound, like a blowing up Neil Young tone. And then we have volume controls or gain controls for our two channels, normal and bright, and we can flick between the two channels with this channel foot switch. Finally, we have a X and Y switch. So this switches between a 12AY7 or a 12AX7 sort of preamp tube. So we'll start with where we're at the moment, and I'll chat you through it as we're playing. I've really been enjoying playing my Les Paul Junior with this pedal because this sort of sound makes me play a bit more, what's the word? A little more, it makes me feel a bit more primitive, and this is probably the most primitive guitar I have, and it just sounds great, this combination. Les Paul Junior, the J, going into my Victory Deputy. That's the clean tone. It's not really clean, but that's how I like to run drive pedals, amp with a little bit of breakup. Okay, and then this is the normal channel of the J. Already such a great sound. Now, one thing that you might know about early Tweed amps and the J20, for example, is that the two channels are not, I believe the wording is that they're not decoupled properly. And that's by design in a J20, but in the early amps, that meant that if you were plugged into the normal channel and changed the volume of the bright channel, it would change the normal channel. And they've managed to get that in the J as well. And so basically what that means is that if you are plugged in, if you've got the normal channel on and you turn the volume of the bright channel up, you get more headroom in the normal channel. And vice versa, if you turn it down, you get less headroom. So normal channel, but if I turn the bright up, I get more headroom. And of course this works the other way. So if we flick over to the bright channel, so cool. And what this means is that you can set up this pedal to have a slightly more higher headroom, cleaner Tweed sound on one channel, and then flick it to like that exploding Tweed sound that I personally love, and I'm sure a lot of you love as well. Now, I think the intended way round of doing that is to have the normal channel as your clean sound and the bright channel as your exploding Tweed sound, but I've actually preferred it the other way around. I like having a bit more of a sparkly clean and then more of a woofy, less sparkly overdriving sound. So let's set that up. So my bright channel. For me, that's a sound I could play all day. Now let's mess around with the supply control. I think in the J20 amps, they have a VAC thing, which I'm not really sure what it is, but I think it's a form of attenuation by manipulating the AC, the power that the amp gets, something like that. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me. So as we turn that down, we should get a more starved Tweed's tone. More subtle than I was expecting, but as you turn it down, it just starts to sound a bit more broken. You can sort of compensate that feeling by turning the volume up of the two channels, but a really cool thing that I'm glad they added to this. Now, of course, the other way you can look at this pedal is if you crank both channels, then you get a ridiculous tone. The cool thing about a sound like that is that if you ever get a real Tweed amp or a J20 to sound like that, it's not going to last longer than 30 seconds because that is running hot. So cool. So let's set up the pedal how I sort of prefer it, I would say, which is a cleaner bright channel and a higher gain normal channel. And let's play around with the X and Y switch. So Y, I think, is the intended preamp tube in a Lazy J20 and a 5V3 Deluxe. A little sweeter sounding, a little lower gain. The 12AX7 is a bit more higher gain, so. So good, this pedal. Easily top 3 Thorpy Effects pedals of all time now. I have really connected with this thing. A Tweed sound is a sound I've always loved, even though I've never owned a proper Tweed amplifier. It's always a sound I've gravitated towards, and this gives me that flavour no matter what amp I'm plugging into, and I think it's the best version of that sound that I've come across. It's a sound that is so well tuned from the ground up to fit in a band mix. It's, it's really, they got it right back in the 50s for getting a guitar heard in like a drum, bass, guitar band. It sounds so good in that setup. Just the right amount of frequencies, the right amount of harmonic content that suits a guitar. And I love it for that. But also when you turn it up, it really sounds like it's fuzzing out and it's exploding. And you can almost hear the amp crying for help in this pedal. So I love it. I really, really love it. Like I said, I wasn't going to make this video. I'm hoping Thorpy's going to let me keep this, at least for the time being, because I want to put it on a pedal board. I want to have my sound be the J, because I've really connected with it. That's it from me with this. I would really recommend going and checking out that interview I did with Jesse from Lazy J and Adrian from Thorpy Effects. It's a really honest, candid look at what it takes to bring a pedal like this to market, the collaboration process, the ups and downs. They're a couple of really great guys who have opposite approaches to this whole thing, I think, and they've come together to make a really awesome thing. So go check that out. Like I said, I'll leave a card or a link to that if it is out. I've edited it, so maybe it is out, maybe it's not. What an exciting pedal to come to market. I love it.